What's up guys, welcome back for another YgoPro duel video. Next match, Cross-Banlist Cup, last match here in this particular group, and then it's all the way back to the beginning, right? Two Titans, two, well, winners from previous editions from the Cross-Banlist Cup series. We have Extra Deck Monarchs paired up against Clownblade, again, two winners from previous Cross-Banlist Cup series. So this, in theory, should be a very solid matchup, and spoiler, it was definitely a very good one. The first is, of course, we have Extra Deck Monarchs, the brilliant fusion version, right? It wasn't that common in the extra. Well, people preferred running the extra deck version with or without it, right? But well, depending, two options, either go for pure domain or the extra deck variant. Personally, I prefer the extra deck variant over the domain version because of the higher ceiling. Anyway, second list we have Clownblade here with a full on clown engine, damage juggler, trick clown, the 1000 blades, but you know, the MVPs here in the extra deck being, well, Ptolemaios, Lavalval Chain, Shockmaster, stun your opponent, again, one of those crucial cards in most matchups, I guess. And then, you know, Ptolemaios into Pleiades, and then we have Northern as well, not to forget, as an instant fusion target. So which deck has the advantage? For me, personally honest, is that before going into this particular matchup, I felt that Extra Deck Monarchs should have the slight advantage over Clownblade due to, well, just the power factor and, well, power creep, etc. Even though, like, and that's the difference between, like, the Dragon Rulers, the ruler matchup from last time, where Monarchs, like, overshadowed Dragon Rulers, if I'm not mistaken, is that Clownblade, if going first, for example, does have the opportunity to set up, like, stun in the form of this particular card, in the form of Shockmaster. And it's kind of iffy, right? Like calling monsters or calling spells. This time it was spells. I think I should have, at least I probably would have called the same. Prevent your opponent from using Pantheism or, well, Stormfort, like the two big spells here in case of Monarchs. But then again, that leaves the option open to go for monster effects, let's say Idea or Eidos, or you know, Red Layer into a tribute summon Monarch. Well, with a Monarch I need that second monster, but something like a normal summon of Idea into Eidos for the extra tribute summon, and then go for Erebus or Aether when the opponent is under a Shockmaster. That can be devastating for the opponent if he does not have, let's say, a Ghost Ogre, right, to get rid of the big attack beatstick, but nope, here in this case the Shockmaster calling spells, yeah, was just too much. So game number 2, and well, what can I say, right, that this is Extra Deck Monarch, so I definitely want to go first, but nope. I'm breaking far too much here. As you see, going first, Return Domain, Twin Twister, yeah, the Prime Monarch, Aether, and he goes ham with all of those special summons, and he's going to end with Shockmaster. Of course, calling spells, so no, yeah, no Stormfort, no Pantheism, and that's a quick 2-0 against me. So game number 3, and I'll finally have a good start, finally get a good start with Pantheism. Getting the extra 2 draws here, and of course the Pantheism Surge, ending with Aether, Stormfort. Again, very, very strong, a huge difference compared to the previous 2 games, well, especially last game. Castel is fine, but as you know, Castel targets, but yeah, before Castel is able to activate the effect up to go for Aether, Stormfort, but that leaves me open for the possible Excited Knight. That's not really that big of a deal because of the, well, the Prime Monarchy in my hand. I can set up the second one and get Erebus or a tribute monster from my graveyard back to my hand. So only Excited Knight definitely was not a threat, but the Soul Charge, that was a threat. So this could have been a quick, easy 3-0 for Clownblade, but luckily, again, calling spells. I get why, but again, it leaves me the option to eventually go for the rank 5 Exceed play and eventually follow it up with Aether as well and have the tenacity in hand, drawing Idea. Yeah, this is my game, right? I was able to bounce back his second monster since he did have the option to go for Excited Knight again. But I'm not going to give him that particular option, and now finally can get that 1 point here. Well, 2-1, right? So game number 4, the opponent starts off, and that's not really a great start. Only setting 1 card, so that can be everything like Torrential Tribute, Breakthrough Skill. So I definitely have to play around a potential Ghost Ogre or Effect Failure, I believe the deck is playing, and Breakthrough Skill definitely. So definitely not normal summoning the Idea here, just in case of Effect Failure or whatever. Right, so going for Erebus as well. If Ghost Ogre, yeah, the return will just get Ghost Ogre, right, with the Chain Links. But yeah, the Maxi is definitely very solid, getting those extra draws, or will be getting those extra draws eventually due to the Instant Fusion, and that's a huge problem. And now, yeah, he knows the game is pretty much over. It's, well, Castell is not going to matter. Ghost Ogre Reborn doesn't make sense, but again, doesn't matter because of the couple of draws off of Maxi, and Erebus again on the field. With those extra draws, was able to draw into some extra tribute monsters as well. Aether, I think, yeah, was able to use Aether during my opponent's turn, and this is game over. Going for Volcasaurus, but at least try to get rid of the Castell, right? It doesn't really matter again too much. Going for another tribute summon, or the first, right? Using Erebus effect, and this should be GG well played. So, whew, a quick fourth duel, but equalizing the score, I guess. So again, game number 5, it's all coming down to this one again, and going second. Clownblade again opting to go first, and this is a huge start on his part. He, well, immediately has the Clownblade engine going with Trick Clown and 1000 Blades, and on top of that, he's able to go for Shockmaster and Ptolemios. That's a huge problem, and now the mind games. The mind games are quite important here. Obviously, there is the option that he will go for Pleiades during his turn, bouncing back something during the battle phase or during my end phase, and setting the 2 was crucial, but drawing the third Stormfort was so important. Like, I had the certainty of at least having one Stormfort during my opponent's turn if the opponent was able or did go for Pleiades here, and you know, Pleiades bouncing back one of my back rows during the end phase, although the other option was to bounce back the Kuras, so I don't have any tribute monster on my side of the field. But again, I made sure that my Prime Monarch was live during his turn, giving me some extra tribute fodder with, you know, Prime Monarch and a Stormfort set to potentially get the Aether on my side of the field during my opponent's turn. So I think I was always in a decent position, coming out on top here in this terrible situation here against myself. But yeah, I think I played it out okay, but again was quite unfortunate. Exciter is fine, just going to save my set here. Save my set Stormfort, bouncing it back just in case if the opponent again has a Soul Charge to go for, well, I don't know, maybe Sire Dragon Infinity, and then, you know, the potential Stormfort will force out the Infinity Negate. In the Negate State Fiction, I can just go for the extra deck summon. Yeah, Adrius doesn't matter, right? Volcasaurus also would have been a nice Pleiades as well, not really sure with 2 primes, but not really sure if I had another Pleiades in my extra deck, but again, it's not going to matter too much. Erebus is going to deal the last damage, and yeah, Domain giving the extra attack boost to eventually attack for the game. So this eventually was a very close match for the Monarchs, but the first 2 games I kind of pricked, I guess. Game number 3 also like Lazuli, I think, and it was very close, especially after that particular Soul Charge. But yeah, a couple of times Maxi and the, you know, the power of Stormfort Aether during your opponent's turn is just too much, right? So Monarchs will get the 3 points here in this particular group, but Clownblade will still get the 2 extra points. So still everything is possible here in this last group. But again, like always, feel free to leave your predictions here for the next matchup. It's all the way back to the beginning, back to Group A. We have Pendulum Magicians currently sitting at 6 points against Dark Armed Return from 2008. So like always, feel free to leave your predictions which deck is going to win this particular matchup. In the upper right corner, the eye symbol, or, you know, like always, feel free to leave a comment. Something important is that I had to change the Pendulum Magician list, but I'll come back to that in the next video, right? There were some mistakes on my behalf with this particular list, losing or at least using some things early Master Rule 4, and that's of course not possible here in this year's Cross-Banlist Cup. So again, that's a change I've made back then, like weeks ago, when it was addressed by viewers again in the comment section. So thanks again for the feedback here on these particular lists. Okay, again, guys, like always, feel free to leave your predictions, and as always, thanks for watching, and feel free to leave a comment or like if you enjoyed the video. Lithium signing out. Peace.